You said you don't get the usual retirement payment from the military. Do you get anything from there, or how did you approach that?
Well, I always had this huge savings. Like I don't know, my father just kept telling me to save, and so I mean, and even to this day, I was just like when I would say 15, I was just putting away money. And I was like, man, this is dumb. Like, because I didn't need the money, and I didn't need to spend. And when I wanted it, he wouldn't let me use it. He was just, no, that's your saving. That's your saving. So I think that in combination with when I was in the military, I didn't see any need to spend money. Like everything is paid for. So, I mean, 11 years in the military, go figure. 11 years in the military, putting away uh, a lot of money adds up. And then I do get some type of aid, some type of check from the military for disability and stuff. So with the combination of that, I wasn't really. I I always said, I'm not gonna live off of that money. That's not the money that I want to live off of. So I guess for me, it was a little bit, you know, it was easier to kind of jump off the ledge because I knew if anything, if nothing came in, I could at least eat a hamburger or something. So yeah, like I said, this comes from a place of self-reflection. So there may be other people out there that just doesn't have, the means at all. And I applaud them too. I mean, I know a lot of people that come from that type of background to where if they don't book a job or if they're not working for 6 months, they'll be living under the tunnel. So that wasn't my case. I mean, I got family, and like I said, I've been fairly successful and just kind of lucky to be in the military and getting through for 11 years. Because another benefit I got was the school. Um, the school paid for a lot of funds and stuff. So I mean, I just been out of school since 2019. So literally 2020 and 21, I'm literally on my own fully with with acting money and fitness. I do fitness too. You got to spread yourself out there. I still do fitness. So I don't know. I've always found a way. I'm gonna find a way to eat. I'm gonna find a way.
You give courses, but I think that's an important thing. I mean, I went that route too. I saved a lot of money because I always had those time limited jobs, so there was no security at all for more than 3 years at top. And so and there always are gaps in between, so I was always saving like crazy because I knew there will be a gap and you never know if there's anything else coming up. There was no security on the other side either, so for me it was an easier decision because I just played insecurity against insecurity. So but my experience in the past years, and something I'm always trying to work with and to convince myself of that it's going on that way, was that when you had I've often had no idea where money would come from, no idea at all, because there were just I come from academia, and it's really a field where there just aren't many jobs. So I often had the situation where I did not know where money could come from, where the next job could come from, if there would be a next job before I would run out of money. And so that what happened was that every time I was in that kind of situation, before I got to a point where it was getting really problematic, something came along. Someone, and that was mainly because I had a little bit of a network, and I didn't do networking in the sense of I need to build a network, and I had to strategically find people and so. I just liked going to have a coffee with someone and to talk to someone, and I was just talking to people I like talking to, and enjoyed that. And some of those people then came up with, oh, there's a job here that could fit you and you should apply here, or hey, we have something coming for half a year or something, would you like to do that, things like that. So it somehow came then. How is your experience with that? Because you said that acting came to you through other things.
Yeah, networking is definitely a big key. With Corona and stuff now, I find myself doing a lot of email as an actor. Well, you say I'm more successful than I was before, but I would say that I haven't made it yet. I got a good movie, but I spend a lot of my time emailing, casting directors, or not casting directors, but like agents, and finding projects. And yeah, I'm just being proactive. You have to get yourself out there, whether it's electronically or physically, coffee, like you said, or so. You have to get out. You have to interact.
I think it's actually easier for people like, I'm actually an introvert, and online is really great for me. I don't know how you feel about that, but connecting online is much easier for me than going up to someone physically and saying, hey, hello, let's talk or something. So what I wanted to ask you is, did you ever ask yourself, if I stay here where I am now, be it in the military or be it in the next job that you then left to, if I stay here, is there anything I'm going to regret when I'm lying on my deathbed? I call it the deathbed test. You imagine you're going to die in like 10 minutes. So there's no time left to do or experience anything. And you imagine that, and you look back and you think, is there anything, if I go on this road, is there anything I would regret not even having tried? Did you ever think about that?
We have this saying in the military that when you get back from deployment, so when we get back from Iraq or Afghanistan, that's like a 6-month deployment in war, in combat. And when you get back, they say that something changes you and you're so full of life, and you meet, back then it was about women. So it's like, oh, and you're going to meet all kinds of women. I don't know what it is, but I realize it's the perspective that you have, that life is short. And so when we get back, we literally get back with the perspective of, I'm not going to be, from what we experience, you want to live up as much as you can. So when you go back to Iraq or Afghanistan, you don't have regrets. And those are those little mini tests. So to answer your question, we had different perspectives on, will I regret this or not? It was more like, before I go back to jail, because it's like jail. It's like, before I get locked up for 6 months or 12 months, I'm going to do as much as I can right now, And so,
does that the fact that you were in combat, really in dangerous regions where there was the possibility that you wouldn't come back, did that change your attitude to life in general?
yes, definitely. I have buddies that didn't come back, and and we sat right next to each other. And then you have, just imagine getting in a car accident or something, and it's like that out there, like, except it's not a car, it's a missile that just almost hit you, and then you're like, you know, that was close. So it definitely makes you think different when you're here and you're safe and somebody says, let's go for a run. And you're like, no, I don't want that. Dude, you can't, we couldn't run in Baghdad, you know, because there were certain times where they were shooting bombs. So we were on restrictions. So when anybody tells me, hey, let's go for a run in Munich, Germany by the Isar, I'm like, no brainer. Let's do it. Let's live. Let's do it.
Is there anything, if you look back in time and you could go back in time and tell your 20-year-old self something, give your 20-year-old self an advice, what to do differently with what you know now? Is there anything you would tell yourself?
Oh, yes. Yes. And I would tell everybody, trust your intuition, trust yourself. You have the answers. Stop second guessing, stop letting people talk you out of things. Stop, because when people talk to you, they're talking about themselves. And I'm happy of where I'm at now, but I just feel like I knew the answer back then. So I should have started a long time ago. It was in my heart. It was in my intuition. Just trust yourself. People underestimate. I think I underestimated myself and I didn't trust my intuition enough. So that's what I would tell 20-year-old David. Like, you got the answer. You know it. Stop relying on other people.
Great, thank you. And guys, if you have any issues trusting yourself, come to me. I have a service to help you with that. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty much an experience I've made myself. Yeah, it's really, and what I hear so many people say. So you had this great movie, and after this big hit, Gunpowder Milkshake, which of course it's a film that will have a sequel, we have heard. So it will have a bit of a longer life than a film, but it's one film, and you're an actor, so you are looking out for other opportunities, and you have things in the works, and so the interesting question now for all of us is, where are we going to see you next, and what are you up to?